Welcome to the Back on Track Achieving Healthy Weight Loss podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Alicia Shelly. There is an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So the other day, I was working out with my trainer and I realized how grateful I am for her. I realized that I do pay her to work out with me, but she doesn't let me slack off. She doesn't let me just not show up to the training. And whenever I may have to change the date or just cancel altogether, she takes me through the inquisition on why I haven't missed a session. And then when I'm like, hey, don't worry about it. We'll just cancel that session. It's not a big deal. She's like, oh no, you're going to make up that session with me. And even though I do my best to kind of, say, hey, don't worry about it, she always finds time to make up that session. And I've been with her for years, so I know how she is. She's conditioned me that I really need, if I have to take off or I have to cancel, it really has to be a good reason. It can't just be because I don't feel like it. And over the years, I have seen a difference. I've seen that I've gotten stronger, I've gotten faster, I'm more flexible, I'm more confident. There are moves that I could not do. Because burpees, I hate burpees, but I do them now. She's like, do the burpees, and I do them, no problem. But when I first started, it was hard. It was difficult. I wanted to cry. I'm just saying it out, just being honest with you. But what I appreciate about her is that because she is so consistent with me, I've been consistent. And I've been able to continue to work out. And even in the weeks where it's just so hectic, it's so busy, I still find time to make time to work out. And number one, to be that healthy person, because right now I am living for I'm trying to be healthy for my life. So don't really have a goal at the moment, but I'm trying to be healthy just for life. So in order to maintain this health, I need accountability. And so it got me thinking, why is it important to have an accountability partner? And there was a 6-month study published in the Journal of Consulting and Clinical Psychology, where it showed that 66% of dieters with a social support system were able to lose weight and keep it off, while just 4% of those without a social support system were able to maintain their success. So it pays to have an accountability. And I have to admit, she is part of my success. Because she's there to kind of keep me accountable, make sure I make it to the sessions. And then when I'm there, that I'm not phoning it in, that I'm actually doing the workout. It really has helped me to be successful and to maintain my weight and life and still stay healthy. So today we're here to bust 4 myths about having an accountability partner so that you can be able to stay consistent in your wellness journey. So the first myth is an accountability partner has to be somebody that you pay. Now, I know I just talked about my trainer who I do pay to work out with me, but you don't have to pay that person. You should pay your personal trainer, but you don't have to have an accountability that you pay. It can be a friend, it can be a family member, it can even be your spouse who can help be that accountability partner for you. I had a client who had she had her family, it was during the pandemic, and her family would get on Zoom at 5:00 p.m. and they would work out together. And this was just her family. And they would talk about their day and whatever drama and gossip that was going on at the time. But they were able to meet at 5:00 p.m. on Zoom to work out. And no one paid for any. So you don't have to pay to have an accountability. And you just kind of elicit your friends, your family members, people who have your best interest. Now, myth number 2, that you can only have one accountability partner. Well, I have to admit, when I was training for my Ironman, I had multiple accountability partners. And you can have multiple too. So when I was training, not only did I have the lady who worked out, my personal trainer, I had an Ironman, I had a nutritionist. I had a swimming group because guess what? Swimming was my least favorite sport. And to get to the pool, I needed to know there's going to be people there with me that would encourage me. So I joined a swimming group. I joined a triathlon club so that we would work together. We would have different events. We would meet up to go run. We meet up to go bicycling. So I had this group, this togetherness that was my accountability. I knew they were going to be working out on Sundays and going for a long ride. So I would ride with them. So sometimes by having more than one person, it kind of makes it a little bit easier for you. Because number one, you may be trying to do different things. And so by having, that person, that maybe that exercise group that you guys go to the gym and work out, out for that 1 hour in Zumba, where you may have a walking group like Black Girls Run or Black Men Run, where you guys meet up at certain times to go run. You have these different groups that kind of help you stay accountable. You know that you're going to go and exercise because they're going to that group and they're going to keep you accountable. I remember I had one client as she would walk with her neighbor, and they were so consistent. They would walk every day, but then one day her neighbor moved away, and she found it so hard first of all, to move on, to get back out there walking, because she was so used to having her neighbor. And so she only had one. So maybe by having multiple people, that may be helpful in case like one person can't show up or things change in their life and they're just not available for you at the moment. So that's why having more than one is better. And then myth number 3, that you have to have a partner that's doing the same thing that you are doing. That's not the case. Because you know what, not everybody may have the same goals that you. Your goal may be, hey, I want to make sure that I meal prep on Sundays. Or you may have like, hey, I want to go running, but your friend likes to go to the exercise gym, to go to the exercise class at the gym. You all don't have to do the same thing. And so I had my friend where I was still training for an Ironman, but she kept me consistent because she enjoyed dancing. So she wanted us to her thing was she wanted to dance on a daily basis for like 10 to 20 minutes. And so what we would do is we would text each other once we finished the different activity. And for Ironman training, it was like every day was some type of activity that I had to do. So I would text her when I was done with my workout, and she would text me when she was done with her workout. And we just kind of kept each other accountable for several months. So it doesn't have to be somebody who is doing the same thing. You sometimes can have somebody who you're just kind of checking in with, that you've done it. And that may make it a little bit easier for you to complete your goal. Myth number 4, having accountability can be more complex and overwhelming. Now, it doesn't have to be. You decide how simple and how complex you want to make it. Now, I know I told you about when I was training for an Ironman, I had like 5 different accountability partners, but I was training for an Ironman. So in an Ironman, it was swim, run, and bike. And so you had so many different pieces. So I had to have things in place so that I could stay consistent. But if your goal is just to exercise 3 days a week, you can make this just as simple. You can have a friend who you guys meet up on the weekends to go for a walk, or you can have, a colleague, you guys walk around during lunch, or you can just have your spouse who's kind of making sure that you're eating a healthier dinner. So you decide what you want this to be based on what your goals are. And everyone's goal is different. You don't have to be as complex as me, and you can take it just as simple as you need to in order to get the job done. So as you are training, as you are considering choosing your accountability partner, I want to make sure you follow the following. Number 1, pick someone who has your best interest at heart. And this could be a friend, this could be a colleague at work, this could be your spouse, this could be just somebody who you pay, somebody who wants to see you do well. And then number 2, know that you can have one-on-one accountability partners, and it doesn't have to be even a person. It can be an exercise class. It could be CrossFit. It could be whatever it is that you make it, or a group that you're going to just show up for, but you decide what you need and how you're going to make it. And once again, this does not have to be complex. You can make this as simple as you need it. You structure this in any way that you can conceive of, because the goal is just to have that partner or have that group that you're able to stay consistent with and to meet your own goals. Well, I hope that you've gotten some information from this episode. And I thank you again for just joining us on the Back on Track Achieving Healthy Weight Loss podcast. If you like this episode, please share it with others, like it, and subscribe. And don't forget to leave a 5-star review, and we'll see you next time.